It's Wednesday. It's another edition of MLB Central. Lauren Shahadi, Mark DeRosa, Robert Flores, and we're pleased to be joined from the Chicago Cubs, Ian Happ. Ian, how are you, man?
Good. How you guys doing?
We're doing great. Hey, you were you were the Cubs representative in the MLB The Show 20 Players League. You had a great run into the playoffs. You won 10 of 11 of your final regular season games to get into the postseason. Then you upset Joey Gallo in the first round to get to the semis before you lose to Lucas Giolito. What were your overall impressions of the league and specifically the interactions you had with your fellow players?
Yeah, the league was a lot more than what I expected it to be. I thought I was just going to play a little bit. Didn't really know the game that well, and then got super into it. The Cubs fans were really into it. I hung a W flag behind me in the spot I was playing, and I would play "Go Cubs Go" on Twitch every time we won, and people loved it. And then upsetting Gallo with Contreras hit a walk off in the second game, one out from elimination. So the Cubs fans were all into that. It was really cool to see it on ESPN. But the interactions with fellow players were great. Just chatting with those guys like Gallo and Giolito when we were filming. Just really great guys, and to see how everybody's spending their time, it was a lot of fun.
Well, Gallo said, and I quote, "Ian's video game physique is yoked." Is that an accurate representation? What was your reaction to those comments?
My video game character was so strong. His biceps were absolutely massive. Just a lot of chest flies, a lot of buys and tries in quarantine. And I have to thank the game because that is the highest compliment you could be paid.
You're welcome, Ian. I had a little bit to do with that ranking player. I don't go way back. Hey, I want to ask you real quick. You were absolutely ripping apart spring training. Again, seems to be like status quo every year. You go to Scottsdale, you just tear it apart in Mesa. Take me through it. Are you hitting? Are you doing anything in this downtime to keep your timing? Or are you just kind of putting it away and hanging out with the boys?
In Arizona, we have a really great facility here, actually at the house. We took a bunch of stuff from the Cubs weight room when we got kicked out, and we were like, you know what, we're going to put it all in the garage. I live with 3 other guys from the team, so it was like, you know what, we're going to put it all in the garage. We're going to pull it out to the driveway to work out. So we've been working out there, playing a bunch of tennis to stay active, and throwing. I haven't done a ton of hitting. Once we get some sort of date, that's when I'll kind of put my hitting program together and get back at it. But as far as physically, I think I'm in a great place.
Ian, you mentioned you're rooming with some teammates. It's yourself, Nico Horner, Zach Short, Dakota Mekkes. Are we missing someone?
Nope. Those are the guys.
Okay. Now you also have you guys have come up with a podcast as a result of this. What has this whole experience been like as you're kind of in these tight quarters with the other fellas?
Yeah, it's been great to spend it with teammates and kind of have that camaraderie, and just to really have people around you, because I know a lot of people aren't as fortunate as we are and don't get to have people around them during this time. So we're really lucky for that. We have a great spot to be. We're in Arizona where we can be outside. But the podcast has been a great way to connect with the fans. We've been taking a bunch of fan questions, trying to give people a little insight into what we're doing, done some videos, and we're just trying to keep it light. We're trying to have fun and just do whatever we can to provide a little sports and a little entertainment during the downtime.
That's exactly what we're trying to do. Ian, we visited with you before in the past. I wasn't aware that Sean Casey was your mentor way back when. How many times did he say, "Ian Happ's doing it"?
Oh my goodness.
Too many to count.
Case went to high school 10 or 15 minutes from where I grew up. So we grew up really close to each other, and he was still living there when he was done playing. And so I met him when I was probably a junior in high school. And he started mentoring me, jumping in my face, screaming about hitting. And he gave me a really good book called The Mental Keys to Hitting by Harvey Dorfman when I was in high school. And it's something I still carry in my backpack to the field every day. My best Casey story from when I was in high school, we had this indoor facility my coach had put together, which was really cool, but it was basically a warehouse. And Case walks in cargo shorts and flip-flops. And I'm hitting off the tee, and he's like, let me see that. Grabs a bat, grabs the tee, and starts showing me this drill and just cargo shorts and flip-flops. Bam, bam, just smashing balls. Probably 2 or 3 years after he retired. It was incredible.
No compression socks?
Nope.
That's his go-to.
Ian, he has a clotting problem now.
Okay.
It's all falling apart for Case.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hey, serious question. All right. In 2007, my daughter in Chicago was diagnosed with celiac disease. So we've been a paleo house for the last, since she's been around. So last 10 years. Rumor flying around that you're a pescatarian. Take me inside this decision. What are we doing here? Is it shredding you up?
So this off season, I was flying back from somewhere to Austin, and my brother sent me a text like, "You have to watch the Game Changers documentary. You have to do it." I said, "Okay." I'll watch a documentary. I'll see what it's about. 15 minutes into the documentary, it's like, I'm never eating meat again. I can't do it. I gotta see how I feel. So this off season, I tried it I was like, I'll try it for a month or two, see how I feel. I felt great. I was usually like a sluggish workout guy where I would get 30 minutes into my workout, I'd be like, I'm so bored, I don't want to do this anymore. And I had great energy. And so going into spring training, it's like, we'll see how it goes when I'm playing. And I felt great. Energy was really high. I wouldn't say that that's where my muscles came from on the show, but it's quite possible. Maybe they got word. But yeah, after the good spring training too, I'm sticking with it, and it's been really good.
Ian, today on MLB Network, we are showing the Kerry Wood 20 strikeout game against the Houston Astros from way back in May of 1998. Now, Kerry Wood is still connected with the organization. He's a special advisor. How often does that game come up? How often does he do you guys ask questions about it, things like that?
I think he gets so much about that game from fans and people that he meets that as players try to just treat him as another guy, kind of stay away from the 20K game. But it is like the highlight reels they show of that are insane, just making guys look stupid. And he has his event around Cubs convention every year, his charity event. So the guys go and support that, and it's a really great event. And he's still really active in the Chicago community, which we love.
Lauren,
you
real
told
quick,
us you live.
real
Go ahead.
quick. I played behind Kerry Wood 2 stints, Chicago and Cleveland. To this day, playing second base behind him, the way the ball came out of his hand different than anyone I ever played. That's Smoltz, Maddox, all those guys. Kid K, if he would have stayed healthy, it was a joke.
It is game time, gentlemen. Ian, you told us you live with 3 of your teammates. For the sake of this exercise, let's pretend that you live with your entire Cubs team, which would be a lot. It's a little game we're calling Which Teammate Is It? Which Cub would be the cleanest housemate, Ian?
Ooh. I'm going to go Chris Bryant.
I would have guessed that.
Sweet, isn't he? I mean, he just seems like a really just good human being.
Yeah, he has too much stuff in his locker, because he gets too much stuff.
So he's clutter. That wouldn't be clean.
He's too popular. It's not his fault. But I think if he was able to maintain like a room or a house, I think it would be spotless.
I got that problem. I just get too much. People just sending me stuff all the time.
They just want your autograph constantly. Which Cub would never clean up after himself?
Ooh.
Going Schwarber.
Oh, man, these are easy.
I would have guessed that too.
I would have guessed that one.
Last but not least, what would be the most watched TV show with your Cub teammates beside MLB Central?
The Last Dance.
Yeah, good.
The Cubbies are really into The Last Dance right now.
I love it. That's so good. Ian, it was great to catch up with you. And I'm sure people can find you and your teammates' podcasts wherever podcasts are consumed and downloaded and things like that.
Yeah, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I tweet out the link. You keep shouting out my Twitter handle, IHAP_1. So I tweet out the link, I Instagram out the link, and you can find everything there.
Well, great, man. Well, it was great catching up with you. It was really great watching you during the MLB The Show 20 Players League. I really enjoyed watching you, chatting with you, and hopefully we see you back on the field very, very soon.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
All
Happ.
right, that's going to do it for this Wednesday edition of MLB Central. We're back with you on Friday. Stay safe.